So, back in 2004, I was a freshman in high school. And I was like 15 going on 16 at the time. And at that point, I had been a wrestling fan for about a good six years. Yeah, 6 years. Started watching in 1998. First match I ever saw was Goldberg versus Hogan for the WCW title. Anyway, at the time, I'm in class. Me and my buddies, Mikey and Brandon, we're all talking. We talk to my classmate Eric, who we find out, well, his uncle has a wrestling ring in his backyard, and he's a wrestler. So I'm like, cool, dude. Where is it? So me, Eric, we get the information from Eric, and then me, Mikey, and Brandon Darko, we go check it out, and we check out this wonderful backyard fed by the name of FVWA, Fox Valley Wrestling Alliance. And while I'm there, I get to see some of the best wrestling I've ever seen at that point. And I also get to meet Tim Mecca, and I talk to him here and there. Fast forward about, because of watching those shows at FAWA, I go find a YWL and train there and start in July of that year. So I'm turning 16. Fast forward about 2 years later, FVWA and their sister fed, Psycho Federation, both closed down. And lo and behold, who walks in to YWL but Tim Mecca? And Tim basically his energy was infectious. He's one of the funnest guys to be around in the back of the locker room. He's always willing to help and give advice. And he's one of the biggest wrestling fans you could ever meet. One of the biggest Bret Hart fans, too. Oh my god. He had a huge collection of both action figures and also of wrestling DVDs and different like pay-per-views and stuff like that back when we would collect those things. I got to work with him a couple times, got to wrestle him, and anytime, because at that point I had moved from Menasha up north to Sarine, and at the time I didn't have a car or a license. So anytime I would find my way down to Appleton or wherever, Tim would always let me crash at his place, and we'd always have fun, hang out, and everything. And that honestly was one of the nicest things he ever would do for anybody, is letting them crash at his place. And we kept in touch as much as possible. I wish I would have kept in touch more, but like over the years, I remember one New Year's Eve, he was actually in Serene, and at that point, I hadn't gone out for New Year's ever, and at least not since I was younger. And me, him, and his date at the time, I don't know if Eric was there, but we all met at the Serene bowling alley, and we hung out for New Year's, shot some games, had some food, and just hung out and just chilled. Because that's what Tim liked. He liked to, he loved wrestling, but he also just loved to lay back and, play video games, play Madden, play 2K, or just, enjoy himself. And it felt good to be able to hang with one of the people that basically got me into wrestling. As far as being a wrestler, one of the people who helped me the most. And I don't want to undersell the importance of Tim Mecca when it comes to backyard wrestling. No Tim Mecca it's not just important to backyard wrestling, but also somewhat to indie wrestling in some ways. Because no Tim Mecca, there would have been no Justin Dredd, no Aries Toretto, no Snake Eyes, no Swoggle, no Joey Avalon, no Craig Covenant, no JDT, and there definitely would have never been no Mikey Genocide, no Jonathan Pierce, no Sean Jovi, no James Marshall, and definitely no Nicholas Krenzen. You know, the irony of how big his influence is kind of makes you realize just how much he's going to be missed. Because, here's a little known fact. Before WCE existed, there was a wrestling backyard fed around 2018 called Arpin Backyard Wrestling, ABW. They were out of Arpin near Marshfield area. And they're the ones who originally owned the ring that we currently use. And at that time, me and Tim we were planning to go out there and work there. And we were going to do like a big feud. And then eventually, Tim had to go to the hospital. And they had to amputate his leg. So he couldn't wrestle anymore. And later on he'd lose the other leg. Though, you know, if he had a way, he would have probably tried to wrestle with stumps. I know him. He loved wrestling that much. I'm just glad he got to see me and James wrestle and see a WCE show before he passed away. Tim was an amazing, amazing friend, brother, father, mentor, you name it. He was one of the nicest guys you could meet. As you know, you're on your good side. He could also be a total dick, but only to those who really earned it. Him. This show is for you. We miss you. Love you. Hope you're kicking ass up in heaven. Miss ya. Booyah, Bulldozer. Love you, Tim.